Hey, 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 welcome. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, your Pain Killerz coach, or whatever you want to call me, chief painkiller. I am here with day 10. We're already on day 10 of the challenge. And actually, I'm curious about how yesterday went, but I'm super excited to get into today's topic. Yesterday was a really big topic, and so it was a challenge for me to get it down to just kind of one thing, make it about one thing. And today's topic is the same way. It's all about the root cause and discovering the root cause of what is ailing you and what's going on in your body. Now, I am a total science nerd and geek. I'm actually an engineer by training and profession. And ever since I was a little kid, I was always curious about how things work. I mean, I was the kid that would take apart every clock in the house and then leave it in pieces because I didn't really care about putting it back together. I just wanted to see all the components and all the pieces that went into it. And that led me to a career studying engineering, and then a corporate career for, 20 some years in quality management, the function of quality. And what I loved about quality is it oversees how everything is done and how all the different pieces of the corporation fit together. So I liked it because I said it got me the opportunity to be nosy and stick my nose in everybody's business and processes. By business, I mean the process, how they did what they did in their particular department or job or area of the organization, and then how it all worked together as a whole for the business to function as efficiently and effectively as possible. That was my thing. That is my thing. My thing is looking at all the components and the processes and how they fit together to make everything work smoothly. It's the same thing with our bodies. So when I first became sick in college, and after 3 years of thousands of tests, hundreds of doctor's appointments, and I don't even know how many hours spent in bed for the inability to get out of bed and do anything, and the doctors coming to me and saying, basically, there's nothing we can do for you. We've tried everything we can try. We've had you on every possible medication that the pharmaceutical industry has available for us today, and nothing seems to be working. And in addition to that, all these tests and all these biopsies and proddings and probing and really uncomfortable procedures we put you through, they haven't led us to know what's actually wrong with you and what's causing you to experience these illnesses, these physical and challenges and the constant pain that you're in. We got no clue. So good luck. Have a nice life. Come back in 6 months or come back in 3 months, depending on who the specialist was, and we'll see what we can do for you then. We'll check your medication. Well, as you can imagine, at 24 years old, that did not work for me. So that's part of my story, but it's a little off topic for root cause. But I soon discovered that, I guess I just realized that nobody was really looking at, and they were attempting to figure out what the root cause of what my issue was, but really my doctors were just giving me medications and treatments and procedures to treat the symptoms of what was going on in my body. Nobody was really analyzing or looking at or even really particularly concerned about, okay, you're pretty good until you're 21, and then all of a sudden when you're 21, this whole massive problem and a systemic problem. It wasn't just, in my particular case, it wasn't just my kidneys. It was my kidney function, my eyes, my joints. I had an onset massive juvenile arthritis. And it was all over my body. But again, the pharmaceutical industry is set up to create drugs that they can manufacture that mask and treat symptoms. They don't treat the root cause of a disease or illness. They treat the symptoms of that disease or illness. And then the doctors, of course, who are trained by the pharmaceutical companies, are trained to diagnose and prescribe the medications that are in their toolbox. And beyond that, they're sort of beside themselves. I really got wind of this when I finally got in to see a doctor this last fall for my arthritis because I had a super duper bad flare last year that knocked me out for, luckily it only knocked me out for a month because I wouldn't let it knock me out for longer. But it did knock me out, kind of hit me from left wing, and I was surprised by it. And normally I'm prepared, but the things that I was normally doing didn't work and weren't effective. So I was talking to the rheumatologist, who is a special in joints and inflammation, and I asked him about nutrition, and he said, that's really not my area of expertise. And I really appreciated his candor, but it was very enlightening to me, because if we don't treat our bodies like our own science experiment, if we don't figure out what the root cause is of what's going on within our mind, our body, and our spirit, nobody else is going to do it for us. And so I'm really, really passionate about this topic and about root cause and finding out what is really going on in my body. And I want to inspire you to find out what's really going on in your body too, because bottom line, no one else can do it for you. Nobody else knows what's going on in your body but you. So I almost hated to do this, but I'm going to do it because I think it's the best way to find out what's going on in your body. Because here's the rub. Our minds will lie to us. Our emotions will lie to us. Our subconscious will lie to us and trick us into believing something is going on in our body that absolutely is not. I should have thought of some good examples of this, but I really didn't. But the one way of making sure that our body doesn't lie to us is something called muscle testing. Now, I didn't know anything about muscle testing. It just didn't hit my radar until after my sudden cardiac arrest in 2010. I went on a massive search after that event because, dying is a pretty big health event. And again, it was out of my norm. And so I need to figure out, okay, what am I doing that could cause this that is not working for me? And I want to make sure that event doesn't happen again in the future. So I ran across, I believe the first person I heard about this from was Dr. Bradley Nelson. And he was actually doing something called a heart wall thing. And that's what attracted me to his training. But as I listened to it was actually a teleseminar with Darius Barazante, and he talked about heart wall and muscle testing. So I actually bought his course and went through it and learned how to muscle test myself. Now, there's several different ways to muscle test, and that's why your challenge for today is to go online and go to YouTube. YouTube is, to me, if you want to find out how to do anything nowadays, you go to YouTube and you YouTube it. Or you can go to Google and Google it, and that'll lead you to somewhere too. But just find a free video that shows you some of the different techniques and different ways of muscle testing, because some ways will work better for you than others. For example, some people can do the arm up and down muscle testing and feel it. I don't feel that one so much as I do the finger one, where you do if you ask yourself a question and you say, am I a good and loving person? And if it breaks easily, the answer is yes, that's true for you. If you say, I'm a heinous bitch, and it's hard, I'm a heinous bitch, and it's hard to break that circle, then that's not true for me, because I'm really not a heinous bitch. Although some people will tell you I am. It's not true. But that is how you find out what's really going on inside you, inside your body, inside your mind, and inside your spirit, without your ego hopping in and telling you something else. Oh, yeah, sometimes you're a bitch, so that's not true. Well, or whatever the situation might be. I used to think that eating beef jerky was a good thing for me. So is eating beef jerky good for me? Absolutely not, because it's so high in sodium. But my mind and my ego and my thought process, back before I discovered what it was doing to my blood pressure, thought that eating beef jerky was good for me because it's high in protein and it's a quick and easy snack. But the high in protein, quick and easy snack doesn't outweigh the huge amounts of sodium that are super bad for my heart. So I'm challenging you today to be like me. Be curious about how you work, your mind, your body, your spirit. Be curious about what will work for you and what won't work for you when it comes to reducing your chronic pain. Because Bottom line is you couldn't care less about my chronic pain and what I do to get rid of it. The only chronic pain that matters is yours. And I know that. Your chronic pain is the most important thing in the world. And you are the most important thing in the world. And you need to take charge of your health, your life, your situation, and decide you're not going to take it anymore. You're going to figure out what's going on with your chronic pain. You're going to figure out what's causing it in your body. And you're going to figure out starting today. So you're going to muscle test. And again, I could go on for a whole day on root cause analysis, how to figure out what the root cause of something is. Bottom line, it's just asking yourself questions to find out what is true and what is not true for you. And the best way to do that and get an honest answer is muscle testing. So go out. Your challenge today is to look up muscle testing and ask yourself some questions about you, about your body. Number one question I would ask if I were doing this for the first time is, and you have to ask it yes or no questions, because that's all you can test. You can only test for yes or no, positive or negative. So for example, if I say, what's the root cause of my chronic pain? I'm not going to get anything, because that is not the right type of question. It's too broad a question. So you might ask, is my left hip my most painful spot today? Because that's a yes or no question. And the answer is no. My left hip isn't my most painful spot today. It happens to be my head today. So you can ask it specific questions like that, but it has to be yes or no questions. Forgot about that. Kind of helpful, isn't it? All right, go out, muscle test you, and I will see you tomorrow. Day 11, we're already a third of the way. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. I know I'm already feeling better and more energized. And the dog got me up at 2 a.m. this morning. So see you tomorrow. Bye.